Hi everybody, it's Pat Patterson, the racing guy. Welcome to Homestead Miami Speedway, where we're continuing with this year's Cup Chase for the championship. Only a couple races away from finding out who's going to be the champion this year. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by our YouTube channel. We love putting stuff up here from years gone by for people to go back and remember what was happening. In this particular case, it's all the way back to 1988. It's the first television show I ever did, called On Pit Road. It was a weekly series that followed motorsports across the board. Drag racing, sports car racing, of course NASCAR, sprint car racing, a little bit of everything. This particular edition comes from 1988. Brett Kepner covered the IHRA Summer Nationals in Atco, New Jersey. The Funny Car Eliminators also were a big part of what he talks about. Our old buddy Hill Overton shows up in this show. He's reporting on the Monster Mile in Dover, Delaware, the Cup action that weekend. Then Brian Hammonds has got the Milwaukee Mile, where there's a lot of stock car action there. And Bob Varsha covers the sports car scene for On Pit Road this week. He's in mid-Ohio. Janet King also shows up on this edition of On Pit Road. You know, be sure and subscribe and like our channel. We really, really appreciate it. And check all of our social media platforms out. Be sure to listen to us on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio and, of course, the Performance Racing Network. So, until next time, we're going to post an On Pit Road show this week. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll talk again with you soon. Thanks, and subscribe to our channel, please.
Hello everybody, welcome back to On Pit Road. A busy weekend in motorsports last week as almost all the major sanctioning bodies saw action. First, we're going to take you to the IHRA Summer Nationals in Atco, New Jersey with Brett Kepner.
The International Hot Rod Association Summer Nationals held once again at Atco Dragway in Atco, New Jersey for the second straight year yielded record times in virtually every category. In Pro Stock Eliminator, the traditional feud between Motorcraft Quality Parts Ford teammates Bob Glidden and Ricky Smith continued. In the championship final round, it was Glidden with a slight advantage off the starting line, stretching that lead to record a 7.37-second winning effort at a speed of 187.50 miles per hour. Earlier, Glidden had recorded the quickest elapsed time in the category with a run of 7.31 seconds, only 1/100 of a second off his current world elapsed time record.
So I'll tell you, it's been a great race for us. We qualified well yesterday, ran two consistent 7:31 runs, and Motorcraft and Ford again came through, and both cars in the final, Ricky and us, and finally for the second time only this year, the coins turned up on the other side, and Ricky lost and we won.
In Funny Car Eliminator, Ed the Ace McCulloch's Miller American Beer Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme once again dominated qualifying with new track records of 5.44 seconds at over 269.81 miles per hour. However, it was unheralded Bruce Larson, a 25-year veteran of funny car racing who up until last week had never scored a national event final round victory, who did it again, defeating the quickest and fastest funny car driver on the planet and current IHRA World Championship points leader. Larson's nearly identical Olds Cutlass Supreme in the final round recorded a 5.52-second elapsed time, defeating McCulloch's ever so close 5:58.
I knew, as soon as I left, I knew it was a good one. The car left harder than it left all day, and it just kept right on pulling. We were a little worried about the wind, and it didn't affect us at all. I guess we just went faster than the wind.
You guys really thrashed hard all weekend to get this one.
Well, we changed two motors today. Some stupid little things happened, but you gave us enough time, and it's a nice track, and everything worked out fine. My crew just did fantastic. Those guys are something. We won last week, first national event in our career. This is the second one, so we're kind of on a roll.
The Top Fuel Eliminator battle started out with Gene Snow leading qualifying with a 5.14-second elapsed time that was one of the quickest ever recorded in the sport. In fact, Snow debuted a brand new dragster at this event, which utilizes a direct drive transmission. However, going down to the final round, Snow lost the track speed record to Joe Amato's Keystone Automotive Warehouse Top Fuel dragster, which recorded consistent runs of 276 and 277 miles per hour. In the final, however, Snow was ready. The defending International Hot Rod Association World Champion recorded a 5.15-second elapsed time at over 274 miles per hour to defeat Amato's 5.28-second run at 277.
I don't know what to say. It's been a hell of a weekend.
You guys worked awfully hard to get this one.
Yeah, this crew's been excellent. The car's been excellent. The track is excellent. Perfect condition. I like to do it every time.
Your thoughts going into this one, Gene? Do you feel confident on it?
Oh, you can't believe we got a new idea here that really works great.
A special on pit road congratulations to Bruce Larson on his funny car victory over Ed McCullough. What a great race it was. Now, about 90 miles south of Atco, New Jersey is Dover, Delaware, the Monster Mile, and the Winston Cup stars visited there last weekend. Our own Hill Overton has the story.
Alan Kulwicki's Z-Rex Amoco Ford Thunderbird led the field of 40 off from the green flag and the Budweiser 500 and shared the lead with Mark Martin as Ricky Rudd also contended strongly. After gigantic tire problems in the Coca-Cola 600, NASCAR took no chances and quickly threw a mandatory yellow after 20 laps for a tire inspection which revealed relatively few problems. Then it was Winston 500 winner Phil Patterson showing his bumper to the field briefly after the caution, only to be passed by Elliott in the strong Coors Motorcraft Thunderbird, who led for a period, only to see his Goodyear tires go away after about 40 laps. Morgan Shepherd, subbing for the injured Skoal Bandit Harry Gant, had his chassis come in, got it to stick low, and moved inside of Elliott, who went steadily back through the field. Awesome Bill went almost 2 laps down after an unscheduled pit stop for a faulty tire. During a mid-race caution, Elliott changed to 4 new Hoosiers, which were more consistent, and it was off to the races as he passed Haviland Thunderbird driver Davey Allison and got back in the lead lap. It was smooth sailing for the number 9 team as they went on to an 18-second win on the Monster Mile. It was Elliott's second 88 win, and his $53,000 first-place money propelled his career earnings to over $7 million as 61,000 looked on. Bill was a very happy man in Victory Lane.
I'm telling you what, this Coors Motorcraft Thunderbird really hauled butt all day long.
Ernie told me you were going to be patient all afternoon, and early in the race you went ahead and let Morgan go on by, and you didn't race him. You were going to be patient. Ernie said that'll pay dividends later on, and it really did.
Well, it really did. You know, I was trying to run as hard as I could, but yet I was trying to save the tires because I didn't know what they were going to do. We did blister a right front early on in the race, but it seemed like the car was working so good that just anywhere you went on the racetrack, it'd go. And, you know, the last 150 laps or so, it worked.
Did you push the car the last few laps knowing that Davey was a lap down, or did you just go out there and ride a few laps?
I just rode it out because I knew that for the 27 watts and where all other cars were, and, you know, I just did the best I could.
Let's take a look at the Winston Cup point standings after the Dover event. Darrell Waltrip is in the 10th spot. Bobby Hillen Jr. goes 9th this week. Jeff Bodine is 8th. Ken Schrader is in the 7th spot. Bobby Allison is 6th. Terry Labonte is 5th. Sterling Marlin dropped to 4th. Bill Elliott is 3rd. Rusty Wallace 2nd. And Dale Earnhardt on top this week. Now, after an exhaustive month at Indianapolis, the Indianapolis cars moved on to the Milwaukee Mile. Our Brian Hammonds had a chance to file this report.
The Indy cars were at the Milwaukee Mile this weekend for the running of the Miller High Life 200. The Andrettis, Michael and Mario, made up the front row at the start, but they would both have problems. And Rick Mears picked up at Milwaukee where he left off at Indianapolis, quickly making his way to the front. Allenzer Jr. gave Rick quite a battle, but on lap 104, Little Al hit the wall coming out of turn 4 and was done for the day. Then Ari Lyondike made a run at Mears, and those two put on quite a show until Ari had a fuel injector break on lap 162. That put the Penske cars 1-2. Mears leading and Danny Sullivan second. Danny gave it a try, but he could not catch Mears. Mears becomes the first man since Tom Sneva in '83 to win Indy and follow it with the win at Milwaukee.
Yeah, usually coming out of Indy, it does kind of seem to get the ball rolling a little bit. When you come to here, the winner usually seems to run fairly well, but it's not very often, I guess, that the Indy winner wins here. So we were fortunate there this time. But you know, as you know, it's been 10 years, I guess, since our very first win here, and it's been a little too long, but we'll take it.
Were you worried about Danny, or did you think you could have run it?
You bet I was worried about Danny. No, it was going to be a race by all means. You know, he's sitting in the same car I am, and he worried me more than anybody did. So it was something we had to stay after it.
But I tell you what I'm really pleased about. You know, we made a change at the beginning or before the start of the race, and it really set us behind. We were a lap down, I don't know, back in 12th spot or something like that, and just came back and got back on the lead lap, passed Rick, you know, pulled away, got back a couple breaks in yellow and got right back behind him. Had a run at him right at the end. We couldn't get any closer in about 2 seconds, so we just backed off and wanted to get the points. I've had too many of these races so far where we should have scored points and we didn't, And I'm happy to come away with, with a second place here, 1-2 for Penske. Great for my guys after last week, when they had to rebuild a car. So I'm really pleased.
In Milwaukee, I'm Brian Hammonds reporting.
Now, checking the kart point standings this week, Danny Sullivan, after a second-place finish, is in the 10th spot. Mario Andretti is 9th. Al Unser Jr. goes in the 8th spot, 7th to Kevin Cogan. A.J. Foyt in the 6th spot. Emerson Fittipaldi is 5th this week. Bobby Rahal is 4th. Michael Andretti is 3rd. Raul Bozel goes in the 2nd spot. And Rick Mears, after 2 wins, is on top. One additional note coming out of the IndyCar race car driver Roberto Guerrero, after suffering a crash on Saturday, is recovering in Southern California. We've got more racing action and more news and interviews coming your way when we come back on Pit Road.
Why does Indy 500 winner Rick Mears race on Goodyear Eagles exclusively? Because of the Goodyear Eagle contact patch and how it responds to the track. And why does Oldsmobile choose Goodyear Eagle street radials for the Indianapolis 500 pace car? A major reason is the Goodyear Eagle contact patch, where the car ultimately responds to the road. Goodyear Eagles, because there really is a difference.
Introducing Stanley cordless tools with power that won't quit. Because unlike many other cordless tools, the new Stanley cordless drill and cordless screwdriver are designed with removable, rechargeable battery packs. So the only time they stop working is when you do.
The action was in Mid-Ohio Raceway last weekend. The International Motorsports Association did battle. It was almost a repeat of Lime Rock. As our own Bob Varsha has the story.
Australian Jeff Brabham, 2 with Californian Tom Boyer on Sunday, to score Nissan's second victory in a week and 4th overall in the International Motorsports Association Camel GT Series, winning the appropriately named Nissan Grand Prix of Ohio at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. The Brabham Glory Nissan dominated the 500-kilometer race, taking the pole and leading from wire to wire, but it wasn't easy. A pit stop to change drivers and tires was delayed by a bulky rear-wheel lug nut, leaving Roy less than 10 seconds ahead of a pair of Jaguars. Number 61, shared by Dutchman Jan Lammers and New York Stady Jones, and number 60, driven by Englishman Martin Brundle and series points leader John Nielsen of Denmark. Roy, the 1984 Trans Am sedan champion, held the Jags at bay before handing the car back over to Brabham, who closed out the win by 15 seconds over Brundle, with Lammers third, followed by the Porsche of Bryce Cobb and James Weaver. Defending Camel GT championship Robinson and Derek Bell finished 5th, also in a Porsche. The Nissan victory came 7 days after a Memorial Day win at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. For Roy, substitute for regular driver John Morton, who was injured at Lime Rock, the winning drive in an unfamiliar race car also won him the Norelco Drivers' Cup for the day's outstanding performance.
I got limited practice and I was a little bit concerned, but as the race went on, I got quicker and was able to get it back to just doing first, so I was pretty happy.
The Camel Lights class for cars with smaller engines was won by the Pontiac of Dominic Dobson and Charles Morgan for the first victory of the year. In other action in Mid-Ohio, the GTO class for big bore sedans was won by the Toyota Celica, California's Chris Ford, the defending class champion's first 88 win. The GTU class for small sedans fell to the other Californian, Tom Kendall, who led teammate Max Jones to the finish in a 1-2 sweep for Chevrolet. The next event on the IMSA Camel GT Tour is the Camel Continental at historic Watkins Glen, New York, Sunday, July 3rd. Nissan will shoot for a record-tying 5th consecutive victory. From the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio, this is Bob Varsha.
And here's how the top 10 run in the GTP division of IMSA. Chip Robinson in the 10th spot this week. Hans Stuck in 9th. The 8th place is Klaus Ludwig. Jan Lammers in the 7th position. 6th is Martin Brundle. 5th to Davy Jones. James Weaver is 4th. Bryce Cobb is 3rd. Jeff Brabham is 2nd. And John Nielsen is in the 1st spot. Now let's take it back to Dover Downs International Speedway one more time, where they ran Budweiser 200 last Saturday. On Pit Road's Janet King files this report.
First Grand National points leader Mike Alexander looked strong in the early going of last Saturday's Budweiser 200 at Dover Downs International Raceway as he built a commanding lead after starting from the pole. Following a caution on lap 35 for Kyle Petty's blown engine, Darrell Waltrip took over the lead, only to see his hopes go up in smoke with mechanical problems. Rob Moroso was running strong when he spun on lap 64. While able to continue, Moroso was no longer in contention for the win. Then Dale Jarrett took over the lead for 30 laps, only to find the position impossible to hold as an unscheduled pit stop put him a lap down. Mike Alexander again found himself on the point, only to experience transmission problems during his routine pit stop, forcing him to relinquish the lead to Morgan Shepherd, who blew up just 13 laps later on lap 128. Winston Cup regular Ken Schrader led for 6 laps, but couldn't hold off defending Busch Grand National champion Larry Pearson. Pearson held a comfortable lead for 48 laps, while some of the best racing of the year chased him, as Bobby Hillman Jr., Jack Ingram, Larry Pollard, and Schrader battled for positions 2 through 5. After a brief caution brought up by Ingram's spin, the side-by-side action resumed as Brad Teague and Ed Barrier joined the fray with the front-runners. Teague eventually worked through traffic, reeled in leader Pearson, and looked to be on his way to his first career superspeedway win. But it was not to be. On lap 195, Larry Pollard, filling in for his injured father-in-law Harry Gant, crashed hard into the outside wall between turns 3 and 4. An alert Bobby Hillman Jr. then raced back to the flag, beat Teague to the stripe by a car length, and assumed the lead for the final 5 laps. Teague's crew contended that Hillman had violated NASCAR instructions regarding the caution, but any chance for an official protest evaporated as Teague ran out of gas on lap 199. Hillman had this to say after taking the checkered flag under caution.
Well, when the caution comes out, you're supposed to race back to the flag, and I did race back to the flag and beat him to the line. And I knew I beat him to the line, so I stayed in front of him, but I think it took NASCAR a couple of laps to figure out that I did beat him back to the line. So once they figured that out, they let me by him, but he ran out of gas anyway. So the car just ran real good all day.
Bobby Hillman Jr. averaged 112.237 miles per hour as 4 cautions slowed the field for a total of 27 laps. Larry Pearson finished second, Ken Schrader third, Ed Barrier fourth, and Brad Teague fifth, completing the top 5, all on the lead lap.
This update on Larry Pollard's condition. This week he was listed in fair condition. On the road, I'd like to send our prayers and best wishes to Larry Pollard and his family for speedy recovery. When we come back on the road, we'll introduce you to our very first driver of the week. Thank you.
To some, it's routine maintenance. To others, it's an act of love. If you truly appreciate fine machinery, you protect it with purely filters. Runs with beauty, an inner strength, a force that sets it apart. $1,000 cash bonus on Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe.
Each week, on the road, we'll select the Purelator Driver of the Week. This week, our selection comes from the world of professional drag racing. Even though they call them funny cars, there's nothing funny about the performances of Ed the Ace McCullough.
The sport requires lightning quick reaction time to blast from 0 to over 270 miles per hour in a quarter mile. You'd think that a grandfather of 3 would be well past his prime. Not so. For Ed the Ace McCullough, pilot of the Miller High Life Oldsmobile Compass Spring Funny Car, is off to a blistering start in pursuit of the 1988 World Championship. It slowed down enough in Atco, New Jersey, for us to ask him about his season.
Well, we started out the year, we thought we were pretty strong. The car was a little bit inconsistent in the beginning of the year, but it did run well, but we were having a hard time repeating. We got our consistency down, and, we're Bernie Federley, the crew chief, Coy Lee, and Chris McNichol. I mean, all of our guys here, you know, we worked real hard. We got the consistency down, and it's working good.
McCullough goes way back in funny car history. In 1972, the Ace was named Driver of the Year and was a member of Carcraft Magazine's All-Star team. In fact, McCullough and Tom McEwen are the only original funny car drivers still active.
I've been racing funny cars since 1969, which that was the year that NHRA first brought recognized, you know, the funny cars. There was actually funny cars around a little before that, but when NHRA first brought them in, we were there.
Ed got his nickname, the Ace, in his very first racing season by beating Gary the King Ruth, the top racer in the Northeast. A sports writer wrote that the only car higher than a king is the Ace, and the name stuck. With that in mind, we asked Ed where the name Funny Car came from.
Well, originally, the guys back, the automotive manufacturers were all, you know, pretty heavily involved in racing back at that time, and the guys had taken it, altered the wheelbase, they'd move the rear ends forward in the car, slide the front end around, you know, and they actually look funny. Somebody said, you know, those things look funny, and the name sort of stuck.
Professional drag racing has come a long way in the past 20 years. McCullough, who retired in '78 only to return in 1980, retired again that year after finishing 5th in the world standings. Carl and Larry Minor lured the Ace back into competition in 1984 with a strong team and a national sponsor. We asked Ed what that meant to him as a driver.
You know, to be successful, it's like a lot of things. You have to have a well-rounded organization. You know, we've got Larry Minor, our team owner, you know. He's a great guy, you know, put together a good team. But also you need the sponsorship. We've got, you know, Miller, Oldsmobile, you know, and those people, we need them, you know, dearly in our sport to help the participation. Then you put together, you know, your crew. We've got a good crew chief, a driver, the whole team. It just has to be a good, well-rounded team from the team owner through the sponsors and all of the guys working.
Best wishes for the rest of the 1988 season from On Pit Road to Ed the Ace McCullough, our Pure Filters featured driver of the week.
That's all the time we have this week. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of On Pit Road. We'll have complete coverage next week of the last big racing weekend at the 9th Riverside Road Course, and we'll bring back all the drag news from the All-Star Shootout in Atlanta. Remember, seatbelts save lives the next time you get in. Make sure they get on. I'm Pat Patterson. So long, everybody.
On Pit Road, America's total motorsports program has been brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Goodyear Eagle Tires. Goodyear, because there really is a difference. And by Pure Later Oil Filters. Pure Later, the first name in